All right, so let's jump right in. Picture this, an artist who says his own work is an infinite disorder of energy. A guy who speaks in these tangled riddles that almost seem designed to confuse you. Today, we're going to try and unpack the seriously weird and wonderful world of Sam C. Serey.
So this is how he introduces himself. Not a musician, not an artist, no, he's the modern bard of chaos. Right off the bat, that's a pretty bold title, and you just know you're in for something, well, unconventional.
And it doesn't stop there. He also calls himself a low-key, philosophical mad scientist. You start to get the feeling this isn't just some artsy persona, you know? It's like he's got a whole philosophy, and it's being cooked up in a secret lab somewhere.
And just when you think you might be starting to get it, he hits you with this. Sam I am, green eggs and ham. What does that even mean? Is it a nod to Dr. Seuss? A comment on who he is? Or is it just beautiful nonsense? Honestly, with Serey, it could be all three at once.
So, what in the world is going on here? This isn't just random words thrown together. There really is a method to his madness, and he even came up with a name for his unique style of linguistic chaos. He calls it Seantics.
So Seantics, in his words, is an infinite disorder of energy. But check out the second part of that definition. The interpretation from others is speaking in riddles that no one understands. He knows exactly how it comes across. He's basically telling us, yeah, I know this is confusing, that's the whole point.
And this quote, it's the perfect example. Just try to follow the logic for a second. It's this perfect contradictory loop. It sounds like it should make sense, but it just ties itself in a knot. That right there is pure semantics in action. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. When you're faced with art that seems to be actively fighting against being understood, what do you even do with it? How on earth are you supposed to make sense of any of it? Well, the answer is as simple as it is surprising. You stop trying to interpret it, and you start to measure it. And I'm not kidding, believe it or not. A group of researchers decided to tackle this artistic chaos like it was a scientific problem. Their whole goal was to build a system, a framework, to actually quantify something that seems, well, unquantifiable. And they called their invention the chaos quotient. Now, the most important word here is reproducible. This wasn't just about someone's opinion. It was a real method for measuring two key things. One, musical chaos, and two, something they call emotional entropy, which is basically a fancy way of saying the music's ability to create totally unpredictable mood swings in the listener. So here's how they mapped it out. You've got musical chaos running along the bottom, from low to high. Then you've got emotional entropy going up the side, also from low to high. This gives you 4 boxes, 4 quadrants. So the bottom left, that's your simple, predictable music. But that top right quadrant, that's where the most complex, most emotionally wild art lives. Okay, so they had their framework. They had their chaotic artist. They put Serey's work through the chaos quotient, and, well, the results were pretty fascinating. And there it is, the chaos score. Serey's work clocked in at 15.7 out of a possible 20. Now that's a really high number, but what does it actually mean? Well, remember that chart we just looked at? When they plotted that score on their map, there was no doubt where it landed. It was placed firmly, squarely, in that top right corner. And that gives us a clear, final verdict. The music from the modern bard of chaos is, scientifically speaking, a work of both high musical chaos and high emotional entropy. The data actually confirmed what the art was claiming all along. But you know, this kind of brings up a bigger question. Why even do this? Why go to all this trouble to stick a number on art that's whole point is to be unquantifiable? What's the bigger picture here? Well, this is where things get really interesting. This research kind of gives us a blueprint for making something subjective, like a feeling of wildness in art, into something you can actually measure. It also gives music experts a brand new tool to analyze all the complex genre-mashing music out there today. And maybe most importantly, it shows us that even inside what looks like total unpredictable chaos, data can help us find hidden patterns, a kind of structure you wouldn't see otherwise. So, I guess that leaves us with one last thing to think about. When we quantify chaos like this, are we taking away its magic? Are we taming it? Or are we just learning a new language to see its complexity on an even deeper level? What do you think?